Hey, it's Traversable and this is Baines Baobab campsite in Nxai National Park in Botswana. The site is located about 160 kilometers from Maun and about 45 kilometers from the town of Gweta by road. Right, to get here is mostly tar road until you get to the park gate. And then from the park gate to the site, it's about 30 or so kilometers, a lot of which is sand road. It's all dirt road, but a significant amount of that is relatively deep sand. In addition to that, you've got to cross the Nxai salt pans as well to get here. So relatively easy going if it's in the dry season. If it's in the wet season, can get very mushy, easy to get stuck, in which case you've got to drive around the outside of the pans. There may be periods, especially in the heart of the rainy season, where access to the campsite is near impossible. You obviously need a four-wheel drive to get here. If you've got a trailer, you may need a bit of pulling power to get through the sands, and also it may be difficult to pull a trailer through the wet parts of the pans. You definitely want to avoid those. Amenities at this site: no electricity, no lighting, no water at all. You've got to bring your own water with you. That includes water for showering. There is a bucket shower system, so you've got to bring your own water to fill up the bucket to have a shower. This is an open air shower, but it does have a barricade of poles around it. The same goes for the toilet, which is a long drop, also open air, but with a barricade of poles around it. The site, of course, has a lot of shade from the baobab tree itself. So the baobab tree is smack in the center of the site. It's really the most significant feature of the site, of course, provides a lot of shade. It's a very nice area to camp, especially in the heat of the day. And there is a lot of heat here as well. There's a fire pit on the site as well, and a steel braai with a grid on top. So you're pretty much sorted in terms of your campfire and in terms of braaiing. Note that there is no dustbin on the site. So whatever you bring in, you've got to take out with you. So take care of your rubbish when you leave the site. This is a relatively large campsite. I would estimate that it's at least 30 meters by 30 meters, maybe a bit more. Of course, there's a big baobab in the center of the site, but you can fit a number of vehicles and tents around the site. It is a really well-sized site. The surface is all sand, not muddy. It's a silty type of surface, so you don't have to worry about mud if it rains here. You're allowed to book up to 12 people on the site with a maximum of 3 vehicles. The bathroom and the toilet, of course, have no lighting. Note that there's no washer facility either, so you really do have to bring everything that you require with you. Pretty much all you can do here, besides braaiing and a fire, is to use the bucket shower and the long drop toilet. There's nothing, of course, to buy at the site. The closest place you can buy anything is at the main gate, which is 30 kilometers away. It's quite a long drive. It's going to take you probably more than an hour to get there, and all you can buy there is wood. You can, of course, drive from here to South Camp, but that again is a fair drive. That's probably 2 hours, maybe a bit more, and there's a very basic kiosk there. So you've got to bring your stuff with you from Gweta or Maun, whichever way it is that you're coming to this site. There's no fuel anywhere within the Nxai National Park, so make sure that you have sufficient fuel. Gate times 5:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. in the summertime when we are here. We're at site number 3. There are only 3 baobab sites or Baines Baobab sites. They are a significant distance apart. You cannot see or hear the nearest campsite hundreds of meters, possibly more than a kilometer apart. So it does feel very remote here, very secluded. You are very much on your own. Now, even though we're surrounded by trees and foliage here, we're on the edge of the pan. So the pan is a short walk, maybe 50 meters from here to the pan itself where you drive in. These campsites are pre-assigned, which I really like. So you're assigned a campsite number before you arrive at your campsite. As with most Botswana campsite bookings, especially the popular ones like this, you must book well in advance. Booking details are below for your convenience. Now, this is quite a remote campsite and we're here on New Year's Day basically. So the braai place and fire pit haven't been cleaned, but other than that, it is well kept. So everything is clean as it should be and in good working order. I suspect that they would be emptying stuff out, the ash out on a more regular basis, but we're probably here in a little bit of a difficult time insofar as staff availability is concerned. This is of course an unfenced campsite. We've seen very little in the form of wildlife. We've seen a gemsbok and that's about it, obviously birds and so on. But this is a national park with lions, etc. in it. We haven't heard any lions while we're here. There doesn't seem to be a lot of wildlife around the salt pans. Nevertheless, keep it in mind, it's an unfenced campsite. So what kind of camp is this for? You need to be largely self-sufficient. The only amenities here are a long drop toilet and a bucket shower. So you need to bring your own water, your own food, your own firewood, everything that you require to stay on the campsite for the period that you would want to camp here. Of course, it's also a little bit difficult to get to because of the sandy roads and in the pans that you've got to cross. Easy to cross the pans in the dry season, but when it's wet like it is now, we've just come here at the beginning of the rainy season pretty much. It's quite easy to get stuck in there. So who is this for? Basically somebody that likes to camp in a remote area. You're not going to see other people here. You're pretty much going to feel like you're alone on the salt pans. So quick recap. What is here? Fire pit, braai place, long drop toilet, shower, which is a bucket shower, lots of shade, nice open campsite, lots of quiet, remoteness, seclusion. What's not here? No electricity, no lighting, no water whatsoever. You need to bring enough water. Nothing to purchase. The nearest places for purchase are firewood at the entrance gate or basic stuff at the South Camp kiosk, which is all very basic. You've got to drive a significant distance to get significant supplies from Gweta or from Maun. There's also no fence. And of course, there's no cell phone signal whatsoever. It's a long way from anywhere. The nearest campsites, like I said earlier, are the other two campsites, each about 1 kilometer or so away. It's remote. So if you have any difficulties, you may have some challenge trying to find assistance. Would I recommend it? I love this campsite. It is fantastic. It's great. It's wonderful. It's completely remote. There's nobody here. We haven't seen another person. We haven't heard a vehicle. The only thing we've heard is an airplane going overhead once. It is beautiful. The bush is beautiful. The bird sounds are great. This is really my kind of campsite. Nice, remote, quiet, out in the middle of nowhere. Definitely recommended. So I hope you found that informative. If you did, definitely hit the like button. If you have a question or a comment, put that in the comments below. It's always good to hear back from you guys. If you want to support the channel, hit the super thanks button or there's a buy me a coffee link below. 100% voluntary, of course. And until the next episode, go everywhere, see everything, have a great time.